Good evening, welcome to Jazz at the Library. If you have been to Jazz at the Library in the last 2 months, you know that we have been somewhere else. If you haven't been there, you've missed some very good presentations. You've missed Adam Mozenia from New York City with his trio. You missed Will Brahm from Los Angeles with his trio, but I do see some familiar faces, so thank you. And you're the smart ones that were able to find a parking place. Thanks for coming. Hey, I just want to remind you that it is St. Patrick's Day. If you're not wearing green, we have professional pinchers that'll be out in the presentation. Anybody who wants to wear some green, I can pass this around. Have any takers? Yes, okay. All right, and because I forget this sometimes at the end, I'm going to do my thank yous right now. I want to thank the Woodward, well, boy, do I want to thank the Woodward Park Library for this venue. If you were at our Betty Rodriguez Library venue, maybe you do or don't know how much trouble we went to make that gymnasium sounding room sound like a recording studio. So hopefully you were there to benefit from that. I want to thank Chuck Yrulegui for capturing our audio. KFSR 90.7 Radio is one of our sponsors. I want to thank the Woodward Park Friends of the Library. Bill Reeve for capturing our audio. I want to thank Sandy Hedrick for manning our information and board, membership table, I guess I should say. And I want to thank KVPR Valley Public Radio for their sponsorship. Eli Parr, our JazzFresno intern. And by the way, Eli has some photos of himself back there, and for a small $5 donation, then Sandy's showing you the photos right now. It's properly on a nice firm kind of paper. None of the board members have proper photos like that, but for a $5 donation, you can get his autograph on one of those photos. And I need to read this so that I get it correct, because Bill already talked about the Measure P. But anyway, Jazz Fresno is funded in part by the City of Fresno Measure P Expanded Access to Arts and Culture Fund, administered by, well, it used to be administered by the Fresno Arts Council. If you've watched the news, we've had a change there. And so, of course, it's St. Patrick's Day. We invited Jerry Mulligan to come in and sit in, but he was previously engaged and he won't be here tonight. But we have a wonderful trio. Hopefully you've already seen, read about Marshall Gentry, who went to school here, Fresno City College, started playing drums and piano at the age of 10. So when I knew him at Fresno City College, I knew him as a drummer, and a very good drummer. And then he went on and got his, not only his degree from Fresno State in education, but then he went to Irvine and got his master's in performance. And then he went into the military for 21 years and was stationed in various places and played for large audiences and came back, and I thought, oh, Marshall's back, great, got another good drummer. And then I heard that he plays organ, and he plays organ very well. And so since he's been back, he's been gracing our establishments around the city of Fresno with the trio. And so I'd like to welcome Marshall Gentry and the New Organ Trio.
Everybody. Any birthdays? Oh, yeah. Oh, except I can't get any closer. You can actually pull the mic out. Yeah, but my cord is only not there. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marshall. This is the New Organ Trio. Mike Dana's on guitar. Gary Newmark playing the drums. So tonight we're playing the music of Pat Martino. He's always kind of been a favorite of mine. I had a friend who I played with when I was going to school in Irvine. He took from Pat Martino in the 80s for 3 years, so he knew him really well. And at the time, we were playing some of his stuff in his style. I didn't even know it because I wasn't into Pat Martino at the time. But we've got about 10 songs we're going to play tonight. We're going to concentrate more on when he played with organ players. Early on, he played with a lot of organ players because he lived in Philadelphia. He was born in 1944, died in 21, just recently. Born and raised in Philadelphia. His legal name wasn't Pat Martino, it was Patrick Carmen Azara. Did you know that? No?
See, I thought he was Irish and his name was Patrick O'Martin. That's why I thought we were doing this tonight. But continue.
Well, his name is still Patrick. So his father was an amateur jazz guitar player and a singer, and his father's stage name was Mickey Martino. So later on, when Pat Martino started playing gigs, he kind of adopted the name Martino, so it was Pat Martino. And probably, maybe there's some people in town that knew his dad, so they knew him. That's probably used it that way. But he started playing guitar at the age of 12. He started playing professionally in New York City when he was 15. And he was a regular at Small's Paradise, New York City. There's a lot of Jimmy Smith albums that were recorded there. Early on, he worked with just about everybody, all the organists, Charles Erlin, Groove Holmes, Jack McDuff, Don Patterson, which is a favorite of mine. People really don't know his name too much. Trudy Pitts, Jimmy Smith, and Gene Ludwig. And then later on in his career, after he started playing again, after 2000, he started playing with Joe DiFrancesco, Tony Monaco, who I took lessons from for maybe 6 months online, and Pat Bianchi. So he played, in the 70s, he played mostly with just standard rhythm sections, piano, bass, guitar, and drums. And then in 1980, he suffered from a near-fatal brain injury due to a ruptured AVM. Then he needed brain surgery. And as a result of the brain surgery, he had lost his memory. And he actually didn't even know that he played guitar. He got home and he asked his dad, what's that guitar doing in the corner? He says, that's yours. And he didn't even remember playing it. So he taught himself how to replay the guitar by listening to his old records. So it's amazing. So the next time we're going to play are These Are Soulful Days. This was written not by him, but he covered it. Not a lot of people know this tune. He played it with Don Patterson and recorded it in 1973. So after he suffered from the brain injury, and he had to teach himself how to play again, it took about 4 years, and then he started kind of getting back on the scene again, which is pretty amazing. So 1984 to 87 is kind of like transitioning back into playing gigs and kind of starting to tour. So in 1984, my friend Stu Goodis, who I played with down in Los Angeles, he's also from Philadelphia. He took lessons from him from 84 to 87. And I asked him a couple days ago, I asked him, like, what was the one thing that he really took from his lessons? And this is what he wrote. He said, I started taking lessons with him in 84, and it lasted about 3 years. I think my biggest takeaway from the lessons was that he saw the guitar as a very small part of his musical expression. He referred to the guitar as a fork. There are times when he needed a fork and he used it, but it wasn't the only way of expressing his music or visualizing his creative endeavor. So it's pretty interesting. You want to say anything?
I'll do it after this.
Okay. Now we're going to play Sunny. It's something he played in the 70s, and then he picked up again when he was playing with organ trios.
This was an R&B hit back in the day. A lot of jazz musicians like this too. As a young guitar player, God, that was a long time ago. But we all, you know, I think if you like sports or you like music, whatever, you have a hero, and you probably have a whole bunch of them over the years. And my first hero was Wes Montgomery, and I've had several, but for a couple of years, it was all Pat Martino all the time, and I devoured the records, and I tried to figure out as much of his stuff as I could. I wish I could have had the privilege of having lessons like your friend did. And when I would try to describe to my students what Pat sounded like, you've all heard that expression, drinking out of a fire hose, right? There's just so much information. It's like, oh, this is going to take my head off. And several of us went to hear him up at a place in Oakland called Yoshi's after his illness and recovery. And he had everything back and more, and he was just, it was like watching notes come out of a fire hose. It was relentless. What do you guys think? What's one thing that horn players have to do to play that guitar players don't have to do to play? Breathe, right? And so horn players will take a breath. Not always Pat, man. Pat, he just opens up that valve, and it's amazing. But his intensity and his swing feel and his drive. And the funny thing is, when you watch him, he like barely moves. And if you see his face, it's just this, like a Mount Rushmore kind of a, all of his energy is focused on what he's playing. It's really something to behold. And he's still one of my all-time favorite players. Heard of Sonny Rollins before? Okay. Anybody here ever heard of Oleo before? There's the song Oleo, and then there's the spread thing. Anyway, well, no, it's good deal, right? I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna play Pat's take on Sonny Rollins' jazz classics, Oleo. Okay, I just wanted to take a quick second. I did my homework and I have a graphic. There will be a quiz. How many so Pat is an extremely deep thinker, and anybody know the number of notes in music that there are to play around with? So there's 12, right? And so in Pat's world, there's 12, but are there 3 groups of 4? Are there 4 groups of 3? Are there 6 groups of 2? Or, you know what I mean? So he has all these mathematical things worked out. And the other day I pulled this thing up and I put it back because I'm just not ready. And I have a lot of degrees in music. But anyway, he's a very, very deep thinker, and sometimes people think, you know, like some jazz musicians are just sort of making it up as they go, and you know, but not Pat. He's got all these theories about how music is interconnected, and it's really pretty impressive. So I just wanted to share that show and tell element with you there. Things working okay there, boss? Okay. One thing about when you have an organ in the band is that there's so many cables and little potential gremlin-y things in place, so it's never a dull moment. Marshall comes to beat with a tool belt at all times. We're doing full house? Let's do full house. Okay. This next tune is actually composed by Wes Montgomery, but like every jazz guitar player from the 50s on, Wes Montgomery's influence permeated every. He was my first guy, and he was Pat was a huge fan of Wes also. So this is a Wes tune that Pat recorded. It's called Full House. and it's on Fulton?
Yeah.
That's right. Going towards downtown, but not quite to downtown. And so if you're on Facebook, I think I have something up there about that, you probably do. But anyway, it's called The Layover, and it's on Fulton, going towards downtown, and we'll be there Friday night. So, and they have food, and they have cocktails, and they have us. What else? We play from 7 until 10.
I think it's on the jazz calendar too.
Jazz. Oh, and the
JazzFresno.online.
JazzFresno.online calendar as well. Yeah, so, you know, tell your friends. Very blessed my last year teaching at City College to bring Benny Golson, an NEA jazz master, to City College, where he worked with our students. It was super great. After the gig, he wants to go get a hamburger. And I'm thinking, I got Benny Golson. Where's the best hamburger in Fresno? Eureka, whatever. His piano player says, nah, Benny likes to keep it simple. I go, hey Benny, what do you like? He goes, oh, I like a hamburger. Okay. With cheese, maybe. Cool. Maybe some pickles. It's like, pretty basic. He goes, you know who has a good burger is McDonald's. So I swear to God, I took Benny Golson to McDonald's. Have another hand for Marco Gentry. Say something about the last two.
Excuse me, Phil. What was he trying to show there? Do you know?
Oh, in that thing?
Yeah. What, I mean, he's trying to demonstrate what?
Well, because it says tritones on there, I'm going to say tritones, which is an interval in music that is exactly in between the 12 chromatic notes. So that note to that note is a tritone. And if you look at it, like you can see on the very top where it says 12 up there,
Yeah.
there's a C and a G flat, and those notes are a tritone, 6 half steps or 3 whole tones apart. But I don't understand anything else.
No, I was looking at it, and it's made up entirely of equilateral triangles.
Well, that sounds like something Pat would have said. Yeah. Yeah. So I think what you should all do is go home tonight and dig out your old high school calculus books and sort it out, and then call Mark and let him know when to tell him. I think that's a great idea.
One of the triangles is augmented, it looks like, and another triangle is
So all the
diminished,
songs we
and another
played,
one is
the last few,
Yes.
Lean Years, Along Came Betty, last two, those, Lean Years was written by Pat Martino. Along Came Betty, he just liked playing that tune that the 25th standards like to play. And he liked playing in that double time samba feel. There's a recording in the 70s, I think, that's electric bass and piano playing. But that's another song that I played with Stu in the 90s, is Along Came Betty, and we played it just like Pat Martino did. And at the time I had no clue why we were playing it like Pat Martino. I didn't even took lessons from him probably at that time. That's why that was on there. This last tune is Days of Wine and Roses, another song that you like to play. There's a couple recordings. If you know if you're a musician, you know the changes. It's an F, and it stays an F. But halfway through the song, the way he played it, he likes going to like the minor 4 chord a lot and hanging out on it. He does it after in the tunes.
Okay.
So he headed in that direction, but then went back and stayed in the home key. So what we did is we took that minor 4 and I just made it 2, 5 out of it, we changed keys to A flat. So we took what he did and kind of, if he was playing with me, he'd probably say, no, don't do that, what we're gonna do.
So we're doing that.
Yeah. And then if you'll notice, the very end will end up in F. The Gary is another.
So after all this crazy music, here's a little something more chill
Okay, before you take off, I want to tell you about next month. There are 3 things happening. So on the 11th, we have the inaugural concert of the new grant cycle for what used to be the JazzFresno Latin Big Band, Latin Jazz Big Band, which is now called the Fresno Latin Jazz Orchestra. We will be doing, that group will be doing a performance at Arte Americas on Saturday, April 11th, and that's outdoors. Saturday, April 11th, Arte Americas downtown. And then Jazz at the Library on the 21st will be Chris Amamiya. And then the 30th, here at the library outdoors on the patio, will be the Fresno Latin Jazz Orchestra again. So you'll have 2 opportunities to hear them next month. And with that, we say goodnight. Thank you very much. And thank you, Marshall and the boys.